mean, feel free, you guys. I'm not trying to take over. I'm just trying to get the conversation flowing.
We didn't come here to take part.
How are y'all doing today?
Hey, what's up, Taylor?
Not much. We just met up with Kat and Alan earlier and did a few experiments. We had a good time.
What you got for us?
I got 3%. I'm gonna try to do the best I can. And okay, I had a survey stick 5 feet tall. I had a theodolite 5 feet tall, and then I've looked at like the topology of the salt flats and like areas where they're extremely flat. And I basically brought the theodolite back 1 mile. I used my car to measure a mile, and we also use like pointers on the map and stuff. And yeah, coordinates. We have the coordinates too if anybody want to reference that or whatever. And I'm in an elevator right now, but so we moved it back a mile, and we got Kat to hold the survey stick. And basically, she had like she would basically cover the part of the survey stick, like, and she would tell us where it's at. So we had the theodolite at exactly 90 degrees, which is exactly facing straight forward. Okay, and we had like the theodolites are level and everything, plumb and everything, facing straight forward. And then after 1 mile, the theodolite, like we had them at the same height. And whenever we're at Kat, how high are you covering right now? Like we tell her to basically move in reference, and we'd get it exactly lined to the center of it, and it was exactly dead on. There was 0 inches of drop over distance, and the theodolite has like 20 times magnification, so we could actually see really well the markers on there. And even whenever she'd move up and down 1 inch covering the survey stick, it'd be a huge difference because it has a very good focusing lens on the or very good magnification and zoom on the theodolite. And basically we started at 5 feet, and I'm like, where are you at, Kat? I'm like, move your hand down, move it up, and basically 5 feet was exactly where it ended. And we should have had 8 inches. Like it should have been 8 inches higher on the survey stick, but it was exactly where it started after 1 mile. And we did half a mile, and I measured the temperature and, multiple different temperature points throughout the line of sight. And if there was refraction, then their refraction would be going the other way, if anything, because the pressure was exactly the same, which is what they say causes higher density. The pressure was exactly the same in the line of sight. And the only thing that was different was the temperature is warmer near the ground. So if there was refraction, if anything, it would make it appear curved, but we didn't get deviation either way. So that's how that went.
That's amazing. Thanks for sharing.
And I have pictures and everything and videos of us doing it. But yeah, we were trying to just simply find 8 inches over a mile, and we were unable to do that.
Wow. It confirms, I guess, our suspicion. That's amazing, Taylor. Thank you so much. And thanks to Dan and everyone who helped.
Well, you got to thank Dan because he was the one. Look, we were driving all night long from Colorado. We were extremely tired. Kat and Alan were here all night kind of waiting because it took us so long to get here, but they knew that we'd be getting in late. Like it wasn't really surprising. I got the room and it all worked out, but we were all extremely tired. And Dan was like, no, I'm going to do these measurements. I'm going to set this up right now. Like, and I was like, Dan, what if they don't feel like doing it? What if we're tired? He's like, I'm going to go do it alone then. Because we wanted them to do measurements and help us out. And so Dan kind of carried it on his back, getting it all, set up. So y'all can thank him. But yeah, we got first measurement done. It's our first day here. And I'm going to have 1 more full day. And then I'm going to be leaving the next day, going to Salt Lake City.
I didn't hear you say what the results were. Did I miss that?
Yeah, so we had them both start out at 5 feet. We moved back to theodolite 1 mile. We put it at 90 degrees, meaning it's facing straight forward. And whenever we were at 90 degrees, it still was at 5 feet in the center of the thread. What's it called? The crosshairs. Yeah, center of the crosshairs. We're still at 5 feet after moving back up.
Can you go further than a mile?
Man, it starts to get the atmosphere between can start to get like a little foggy and hazy after you're over a mile. Looking at anything that fine, like we're looking at a survey stick that had like big inch markers on it. Like it's a pretty fairly large survey stick with big markers on it. But once you keep going back and back, it starts to get more and more hazy and unclear. That's just with any theodolite reading.
So what were you measuring exactly? You said you pointed out horizontally 90 degrees, like parallel to the horizon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you pointed it towards what?
I pointed towards the survey stick.
Towards the survey stick. Okay. Okay, I got you.
This was only the first experiment too. We hope to like reproduce similar things. This was only the first one we've done so far.
Yeah. What? So, and you got nothing for a mile?
Yeah, I was unable to find it.
It's like you should just read out what it. So basically, when you're super close, when you put them right next to one another, right, it's like 5 feet, looking at 5 feet, right? Move back a half a mile, look through it, and then at 90 degrees, we're looking at the survey stick, and I tell Kat, hey, fill in the crosshairs of the survey stick. That's why she's moving up and down, whatever. So you have to fill in that band. That's where the crosshairs are at 90 degrees. That point at a half a mile was 4 feet 5 inches, 4 feet 7 inches, 4 feet 6 inches. At 1 mile, that was 4 feet 8 Actually, I need to do
The
I need to
conversion.
do a little bit of conversion. Okay, but listen. So basically, one is 4.5 feet, 4.75 feet,
Not connect to my iPhone. Stop that.
4.6 feet, 4.8 feet, 5 feet, and 4.9 feet. So I don't know. I don't know. Basically, summarize all that down to you. But we all thought it was very strange that at 90 degrees, it's looking below the 5 foot mark on the survey stick. Because if it's at half a mile and a mile,
Okay.
you
Do
know,
the conversion, because I remember we did it earlier for 1 mile.
I just made it points. It's like 4.8 feet, 4.
Right. So if anything, it was slightly concave. Is that what you're saying?
Or this isn't something that's like flat, or it's flat, and this is what the atmosphere does.
Mm-hmm. So what was the deviation over a mile?
What is deviation over a mile? How do you?
How far away was it from the 5 feet? 2
What, you
inches.
guys
Yeah, like an inch
So
or two.
concave 1 inch.
You guys did
Whenever
this.
I looked through the crosshairs whenever I looked through the crosshairs at 1 mile, it was exactly at what was the marker 4.8? Because that would convert the 5 from the survey stick. Yeah.
It's a little lower than the 5 foot point, right?
Right. And it should be a little bit higher.
You would think that it would be higher if the survey pole is being hidden behind a curve.
Exactly.
See, I would like to hear somebody who knows about the surveying a lot. So I don't understand, like, if there's a hump in the middle, you have don't you have to account for that somehow if you're actually trying to measure the real curvature? Because if you're measuring a mile, you have a stick down a mile, there's a hump in between you, and depending on the height of the stick and the height of your measurement device, like, you can potentially be pointing right at it and it would still be at the same level. Does that make sense?
Like you almost need a second survey stick in between the 2 points, right?
Say that again.
It's almost like as if you need 2 different survey sticks, like one in the middle to kind of give you a reference. Is that what you mean?
Sure. Possibly, yeah. That would help. Yeah. Actually, that would be better. The more data points, the better, for sure.
The more, the
Just
better.
getting one. I'm surprised you went out there and just got one, man. If I got those toys in my hands, I'd be taking all kinds of measurements.
I mean, we did multiple. He just read out a bunch of them, but you don't know how much. Hold on. We do have face left and right for each, but I don't think people understand how much work and effort it takes to even go do one measurement. It's a lot of equipment, a lot of planning, a lot of driving, a lot of everything, money.
What? I mean, you have the equipment,
Once
don't
you
you?
have everything and you're out here with all that you need, it's easy, but it's much easier to say it than to do it. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, sure, but I mean, you have the equipment, don't you?
Even with the equipment, it's a lot more work than you might think. I don't think you understand.
I thought you
But
just have
yeah,
to,
it's
you have to
relatively
calibrate it,
easy.
right?
Yeah, you have to level it. You have to get everything set up. You have to, do a lot of different things. You have to make sure what you're on is level. And there's a lot of different things you have to consider. I had to go do temperature readings throughout the whole thing. I mean, it takes a long time.
You did temperature readings?
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I haven't I have to look, really sit down and analyze everything. But from what I'm 100% sure of is that we definitely didn't get an 8-inch drop over a mile. It was maybe 1 inch concave deviation from 5 feet, but it was definitely not 8 inch per mile.
You got to talk to Jesse. I mean, or are you referencing a book or anything? Like how, or the manual, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Glover's the one that, yeah, I have a Theodolite manual. The Glover's the one that told me to use it. I'm not using the Theodolite wrong.
I'm not saying you're using it wrong. It's just that they're kind of complicated, and you got to know what you're doing.
They are.
Because, I
We've
mean,
used them before many
that
times.
would be pretty wild, Taylor, if you're the first person to ever measure the Earth not to be flat. Or, I mean, I'm sorry, not to be curved. Excuse me. I let it
What
slip.
about
I
the
know.
Black Swan?
Huh?
What about the Black Swan
Hey,
event? What about multiple other sightings?
If
But
I
yeah, I
showed you,
would be. I'm just
if I
going
showed
to
you a
tell you
picture,
what I read. I'm not
if I-
going to show you my results. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm measuring today. That's what we measured.
if I showed
You
you a
were not
picture, if I showed you a picture of my girlfriend and she had like makeup smudged all over her face and lipstick on her tooth and like black eye, and I was like, hey, that's my girlfriend. Like that's not a very flattering picture of my girlfriend. Okay, why would I show that to you? That's the Black Swan. It's like the most jumbled image. You like it's a mirage. It's like all kinds of crazy atmospheric effects going on, which is so blatantly obvious. And they
Yeah.
didn't even measure that. They don't know how they took the the way those riggers work for oil is they're made to move, and they went off measurements from like years ago on a government's website. They didn't even actually measure it. They just used the results from the government, which it could have been repositioned to hit a different part of the well or what. But
Okay. Well, I think that in any observation, there's a lot of atmospheric conditions and issues. I think that people are completely neglecting the temperature gradient that's near the surface, and even for standard atmospheric conditions, they measured the temperature and assumed set temperature for every kilometer. They did different temperatures. So if you're looking at the ground and you're assuming one stable temperature gradient, and then saying, okay, it's 7/6 because of refraction, then I think that that's neglecting a lot of things. Whereas I'm really trying to take everything into account, and I haven't finalized anything. I haven't repeated anything. I'm giving you kind of initial observations from what we've seen today.
shit, what was I going to ask you? Fuck, I can't remember what the fuck I was going to ask you. It's very important for some reason, but I can't remember. How many temperature measurements did you take?
I took 3. I used 2 different types of temperature sensors. I used RT. I think it's an RTK temperature sensor, which is a research grade down to 0.01 degrees Celsius accuracy. And I did that, near the surface, 2.5 feet and 5 feet, which was the height of the theodolite that was looking. And then I did that at the target site, midway, and the observation site. And then I also did the barometric pressure with my pressure sensors.
Oh, I'm liking this.
Mhm.
For real, Taylor. I'm impressed. Not a lot of people talk good, but don't actually go out there and do something. So, my hats off to you. That's pretty cool.
I appreciate that. We got to get all these notes sorted out. We have a bunch of notes on all the readings today. But yeah, basically from my initial observations, I was looking for 8 inches drop per mile. I was not able to find it. If anything, I got like slightly concave, but it'd be good to go get an average of all those results and see. But yeah, very, very interesting.
I try and shoot over a mile. I really wonder what the issue is with, like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you're on top of a ball, and let's say I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm a mile away from the horizon, and I've got a buddy who's 6 feet tall, he's a mile away from the horizon, directly in front of me, 180 degrees, right? And if I look at him, if I measure like the height of him in reference to me, he's going to be at the same height, right? Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Well,
If you're 1 mile away from your buddy, you're going to be at the same height. Is that what you?
Yeah. So like on a perfect sphere, if I'm 1 mile, and we're both looking at the horizon, and I'm 1 mile away from the horizon, and then he's 1 mile away from the horizon, and we're 180 degrees. We're like in a straight line basically, and the horizon is separating us, and there's a mile distance between each of us, perfect mile. And in that case, like if I look forward at my buddy, he's going to appear at the same height as me because the way the geometry works out. So that's what I'm thinking of. It would be tricky in doing a measurement like this, and that's my only thought. But like I said, hats off to you.
Thank you. I'm
So 50, do you think
I think it would appear shorter if it's going behind the curve. Just like they talk about drop over distance, you should be able to see that drop.
But there is a hump, though, right? There's always a hump.
Yeah, so it appears shorter.
Yeah, they would have to point downwards, right? 50, if I'm not mistaken.
I had to point. Were you talking about it like in my example?
Yeah.
No, you'd be looking straight across from each other. I mean, your eyes would be like dead set, like in a perfect straight line.
But they wouldn't have the same 90-degree angle, right? Would they? I mean, if they both held a 90-degree, one would be
like, would their eye level be 90 degrees? Like, no, it would be looking at the horizon, so it'd be pointed slightly down. Well, I mean, you'd be looking a little bit above the horizon because you'd be looking at your buddy. So you might be looking 90 degrees. I'd have to look at the geometry. That's kind of a tough question to answer in my mind. I can't really rationalize that right this moment.
So I do agree that you're saying to look over a longer distance, and that's fine and dandy, except for like you're going to have a cumulative atmospheric effects the further you look. So I figured that trying to do a 1 mile observation would be more like the least amount of atmospheric interference, in which it already starts to get pretty shaky over a mile. If you're looking at something that's like not a massive objects will be subject to it, but it's going to be more clear because it's larger, even though it will be subject to it. But if you're looking at something miles away, you're going to have a lot of interference, whether you believe it or not.
How low can you go to make the observation? Do y'all just do it from like 5 feet ish, or can y'all go to like 8 inches?
Oh well, 8 inches. You're gonna have so much scintillation. Think about like yeah, you know how a road looks. Okay, well I have the temperature measurements up to 5 feet, and at one point I think it was like almost 10 degrees, and that 10 degrees over 5 feet, dude. That's crazy massive. And so the closer you are to the ground, the more of that fluctuation you're gonna have, and everything's gonna be really wavy and shaky and indiscernible.
Yeah, for sure. I was just saying how low you could go before it was like straight up impossible. But yeah, if y'all can do it again, definitely try what what's his face was saying with putting the stick in the middle and seeing where it is.
Well, we did halfway through. We only have one stick though, and one bipod because it was like $100
for
the bipod and 50. Yeah, for a survey stick. Go try to find a survey stick on Amazon. Tell me how much it costs.
How can't you?
You don't know how much your survey equipment costs. You must not know.
But a stick though, you can't substitute something in place of a survey stick.
Yeah, like a meter stick.
No, I mean that would be very inaccurate, and you need to have something that's held up straight. Yeah, very.
Would it really be that inaccurate?
You need to have something that would be held up straight and that would be like stable. What? You want to tie for it? It has to be thick enough to measure. It has to be thick, and you have to be able to have reference points on there. It's not going to be just one point you're looking at. You're going to see where you're going to see it on the stick.
I mean, you could go buy a metal pole from like Lowe's Depot or something.
No, you're not going to see a metal pole hanging out there and then the salt flats over a mile.
Well, no, I mean you could paint it yellow, paint it orange or something.
No.
Why wouldn't that work?
Use survey
for another stick.
Why do surveyors use survey sticks? Look that up on Google and you'll figure out why.
Well, I'm sure because they're standard height, but I mean, you can't. There's no reason that you couldn't adjust that. I'm just saying. I'm sure that's. Huh?
There's reference points on the survey stick, and it's stable, and it's like for example, if I just like put a red line on some stick that I don't know where I'd even get that, but if I was to have that, and I'm like, okay, well, it's above the red line. Oh, it's like here-ish. 90 degrees would be here-ish. That's not accurate whatsoever.
How much was a survey stick?
I don't remember the exact price. I think it was like $50, and then the
I mean,
bipod was like 80.
if it was that expensive, like I just go buy a metal pole from Home Depot and
You're not
set it
gonna see
next
a
to the
metal pole.
survey stick. Set it next to the survey stick and just make the same markings on it.
We don't have a metal pole either. Like, it's just not gonna happen, bro. If you want to buy me some sort of stick on Amazon, have it delivered to me, I'd do it. But it's not as easy. Like, people just think it's so easy to just do this stuff. It takes
What are you
equipment.
talking about? You got 95% of the equipment.
Yep, I have everything a surveyor would need, and I'm
okay.
Yeah. I already did. If you're saying I should do a halfway point, then we did a halfway point. We did half a mile and a mile.
No, you'd have to have 2 sticks. You'd have to. You can't just. You'd have to have 2 sticks. But how are you accounting for the phenomenon I was talking about?
Which one? I didn't understand what you're saying.
Okay, I'll draw a little diagram real quick. Hold up.
Okay. And if there's a hump between you and your friend, they're gonna be they're gonna also be dropping behind the curve, and they're gonna appear shorter.
Isn't that what y'all kind of observed? Wasn't he saying, Dan was saying earlier that it was like 4.9 or 4.8 or something?
The 4.8. So the survey stick was in increments of 10, and so that would 10 units per foot, and so that would convert to over 5 feet. Yeah, we gotta get those. It's 10. How about you just go and like do the conversions, and we'll let them know.
Feet, they're not good enough. What do you want to?
Yeah, do the conversion, get the average. That'd be good.
How much time have you guys set aside for your next observation, if you don't mind me asking?
Not enough. I don't have enough time, and
Yeah.
it's expensive, like the rooms and stuff. But
You
I'm
guys
gonna be doing.
were you able
I'm gonna
to
be doing
achieve your
some-
goals today? Oh, sorry.
No, I didn't finish. Obviously, I don't think I'm gonna achieve everything I want to do. I'm gonna do the best I can, but I'm not making any expectations. Like, I don't want to set any like expectations for me, because doing that all, like, if something goes wrong, like, I'm to blame. So I'm not gonna like set any expectations. I'll do the best I can.
How many more?
Anything
Okay, go ahead.
at past 10 in the morning. It
Yeah.
all has to be done from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yeah, there's a time frame, because we were doing it from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. when the temperature is more stable. But then again, you have sunlight to see, because once you got that sun heating up the surface of the earth, that convection will cause like serious scintillation, and you're gonna have serious optical issues.
Oh, so you started at 5 a.m. or you guys began?
Yeah, well, we went and got some food and then started at 5.
Amazing. Yeah,
But we
great
got up
idea.
all night.
Yeah. Well, all the best on your next observation. How many more would you guys like to do in the future? If you don't, have you thought about it, or?
I don't know. I'm gonna do what I can. I gotta like get ready for bed now, and I was also gonna shower and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do what I can. I'm gonna try to do a laser experiment tomorrow and a celestial theodolite experiment. But I'm not Superman. I've asked people to come out here and help me. It really helps to have help. And now Kat and Alan, they had to leave, so now it's just me and Dan. So, we do the best we can. It's hard because
sure.
gotta have like one person alone on one side.
Be
There's
careful
a
with
lot
Dan.
of flies. It's very like hot, and there's a lot of
I'm
flies.
just joking.
I wish somebody can help us, but it's okay.
Hopefully, in the future, more people will be able to like collaborate with you guys. And yeah, I agree. I think more people have to come together, because these observations take a lot of organization and time. Yeah, more the better.
Dude, I would love to
Definitely.
participate in something like that. I just need to know when.
Oh yeah, I've been saying for about 6 months now that I'm gonna be coming out here today on these spaces. But no, I'm really happy with what I did today. I'm really tired, so I'm sorry if I sound frustrated. But yeah, we had a wonderful time. Like me, Kat, and Alan, and Dan, we had a wonderful time out there doing measurements, cutting up. Alan was like live streaming it. We got him a little yellow vest that we had in the car, like, and we were like some real surveyors out there, dude. People were wondering what the heck we were doing, and it was pretty funny. We had a great time.
What about a hard hat?
I didn't have a hard hat. My car is packed with stuff. I have like 5 suitcases. I have one like equipment, bathroom stuff, clothes, more equipment. I mean, car is loaded to the brim.
Well, the great thing is no one can ever take away from you guys making observations. So
Yeah,
that's
definitely
amazing.
have a good time. Yeah. Well, I hope. Well, last night they were trying to do a celestial theodolite experiment last night, but it was really cloudy. So I'm praying tonight clears up some, or tomorrow night, and so we can actually get some celestial theodolite readings. That'd be really cool.
I do think 50 made a good point, though. I would like to see y'all like work around that in some way. I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah, if anybody wants to donate and like send us some like more equipment, if anybody thinks we should do more, like, I'll give you my address and you can like have Amazon overnight it. That'd be really cool. I don't have any money though right now for anything else. I've already had enough time getting all this stuff together. But yeah, anybody wants to donate, absolutely feel free.
What's the best way for people to donate? Do you have like some sort of account that people can email, or maybe like a page?
Just buy the piece of equipment and have it shipped to me. Whatever piece of equipment you think I should have.
Okay.
I don't really want money, because when you have money, when people give you like cash, then they expect stuff, and if something goes wrong, then that's like a lot on you. So I don't want any cash.
I'd also be careful with people sending you boxes to the mail. You might get bombed.
whatever.
Do you
I'm not
accept
putting down.
XRP for donations?
Oh, I think Dan has something like that. He has. I don't do like crypto, but Dan does.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, we've had a good time out here, and I'm excited to hopefully share more results if everything goes good. So
Yeah, thanks for doing all that. Really.
yeah, no problem.
It's not gonna.
Exactly.
Oh, what did you say? We couldn't hear him.
Oh, he was just saying that sometimes people do get concave results because of the conditions.
What do you think about something? Whatever's going on with the atmosphere is very complex with temperature and pressure, and it's like fluctuating. You can watch it changing like a wave. Go ahead and line your crosshairs on something, look away for 5 seconds, and tell me where they're at now. And tell me where they're at in 10 or 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Because whenever you move one,
Yeah, well, that's why you take 3 measurements every time. You try to be as honest and as perfect as possible. Like it means constantly focusing your crosshairs and your image through the scope and taking 3 measurements and just trying to do the best you can. But it's just interesting. It's always this atmosphere that took me forever to get over. And what I'm saying is that I feel like concave results should be expected from a flat Earth because you're going to have some sort of.
even from a globe Earth, they say that things appear taller because of refraction. But I want to say that Dan has no foot in this game, or no stick in this game, whatever the saying is, because Dan is not a flat earther. Okay, he's not like very like privy to flat earth, or he definitely didn't jump on board and still really hasn't like dove head into any of it. Like, so he is very unbiased, and I just wanted to mention that, like, he's not a flat earther, and definitely not zealous about flat earth.
Yeah, but he thinks space is fake and stuff, right? I think I've heard
No,
him
he
say
does not think that.
No,
that. Okay,
he
my bad.
thinks it's
I mean, just in
He
general,
thinks
he's not
Are you
biased.
talking about Dan the Waterman or another Dan?
No, I'm talking about Dan, my husband.
Oh, your husband. I thought you were talking about Dan the Waterman. I thought you guys were doing experiments.
Oh my
My
gosh.
bad. Dude. This whole time I thought you were talking about Dan the Waterman.
yeah, I did too.
My bad.
No, I
Wait,
can
so
post my phone.
is-
Those pictures.
is Dan a concave earther?
Heck no. He's like I don't want to call him a norm. He's very open minded, but he's not like, he doesn't have a big stick in the front.
Care what it is. Like I want to rip her wide open and go find out. You know what I'm saying? I used to originally be a glober and feel like I understood putting things in orbit and space and all that stuff, but I don't really believe in all that now. I hold the word of God as the ultimate authority, and everything else comes second to that. And so I think that the earth is exactly as the word of God describes it. And so now it's just my job to try to figure out, well, what can I see? I'm so tired of hearing everybody running their big mouth on these spaces and all this. All that really matters is numbers. That's it.
But you're not going to be biased towards flat earth, is what I was saying.
I don't care what it is. Like, I'm not biased to flat earth. Actually, I want, like, the best way, how to be a good flat earth experiment scientist? Try to prove it wrong, right? Let's search out for a curve, right? That's how I feel. I mean, I wish I could find curvature so I can prove myself wrong. That's the only way you're going to do anything right anyways. Every good scientist knows that the only way you actually find good results is by spending decades trying to prove yourself wrong. And you're like, dang, man, I was right, for a while now. And then you get something good, So y'all
Well
probably know
said. Well said. Another doctor I was listening to last night who was chatting with Dr. James Torr, he says our bias is a science killer. So, yeah.
Well, the only way, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You hopefully you don't have a bias. You're trying to just, go against your bias or whatever, like, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I couldn't stand listening to it at first. I was Taylor dove all in flat earth, and man, I wish I could do. She's not the. I just think she thinks the same way I do. Or she just want to know the truth, right? Just like go find out, No, I can't stand this. I wish I was doing something completely.
Okay, so y'all see how he feels about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Many other topics, but this one's huge.
So blunt. I can't, like, I'm telling you, Dan is hilarious. Anyway, he's in the medical field, and that's his specialty. So,
Yeah, same with the doctor that I was listening to last night. He was trained in medicine. I think he had a PhD, but I think engineering at MIT. But yeah. So they were claiming that, and I guess it makes sense that medicine is one of the highest levels of science.
Yeah, that is true. Well, anyway, we're gonna do some more tomorrow.
Yeah.
Daniel, I feel like I'm torturing you, making you do this though. Like, it's kind of fun.
Well, I'll go out there and do it right now. Okay,
Yeah, Dan was the one that was pushing us to do the measurements earlier. He's like, I brought all this stuff out here. We're gonna freaking do it. Anyway, so I'm gonna stop monologuing.
I told Joey I ain't nobody torturing me. I'll freaking let him on the ground.
We've been up all night too, driving, and yeah. Kat and Alan too. I think Alan also did like a round table earlier. Like, you gotta give some cred where it's due, because man, we've been running around crazy. We had to drive all the way from Colorado last night. We drove 9 hours here and immediately started doing experiments. Maybe I can live Maybe I can live stream some tomorrow and show you guys like kind of what it's like. That's a good idea. I can like try to set up the camera and like record the whole thing just so you can see how much stuff it is to do. It's a lot. It's not just like, oop, boop, one and done. It's very difficult.
Hey, God bless you guys, and thank you for everything that you're doing right now.
Thank you.
Everyone really appreciates it.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm gonna probably go take a bath soon, and I'm just gonna be listening. So I hope y'all continue having a good convo.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise.